I'm so glad you're here listening to the Sustain Your Passion podcast. I'm Genesis, your host and business development expert. If you're ready to make a bigger impact and income while helping others, then you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me, and I can't wait to help you sustain your passion. Hi everyone! Today I'm really excited to talk with you about 3 mistakes I made during my first year as a coach. Now, if you're on my email list, you probably got an email about this a while back, but here's the full story about those 3 lessons. So the first thing I want to tell you about is that I've kept a digital journal in Google Docs for the last 6 years. Since the summer of 2017, right after I started EMDR therapy to work on healing some of my trauma from my childhood abuse, it was clear to me things were going to change pretty soon. I was doing a lot of personal growth and really focusing on my mental health, and I wanted to document it so that I could look back one day and see that I really did go on a healing journey, and to see that I started from a place that I'm no longer in, and to witness my growth. And now I've got this journal. And so it started originally as like a therapy journal, right? But then I started getting in the habit of journaling regularly just to organize my thoughts more and feel connected with myself. And it's now one of my favorite things to do for my personal health, but now also my business. So I call it now my brand journal because I am my brand. And so whenever I am not sure about what I want to write about or what message I want to share with my clients or my audience online, I'll just open up my journal and start writing. Whether it's like my throat hurts, I'm hungry, or whatever thoughts are in my head, I just start typing, because if I start typing with the expectation that I'm creating content, that feels so stressful. But if I remove that requirement and just say, I'm just writing in my journal, this is just for me, I can write and write and write and write and write. And then eventually I can pretty much find at least one topic to pull out of my journal that then I can shape to teach or share a lesson about or a story about with my audience. So that is my favorite way to use my journal. Typically, most days, what I do with it. But I recently started rereading my journals from years and years ago, way back the first year I started my career coaching business online, to pull stories out and lessons I've never shared before and tell you all about it. So the first thing I want to do is just read you this journal entry. And I think it's going to be fun for you to hear me speak it. So even if you read it in an email a few weeks ago, just buckle in, okay? So November 29th, today, John's Facebook ad page got banned. They won't tell us why and are pretty clear that there's nothing we can do about it. This is very frustrating and a big challenge to the business. I had a sales call booked for last night and she canceled. I'm feeling pretty unsure about the future of the business, but also determined to continue growing it. I know that I'm a great career coach for women who need confidence and strategy to know what they want to do and how to get their dream jobs. I can see that in the work with my current clients. I have so much positive, affirming feedback. I need my marketing strategy to continue. I can do this. We will figure out a way. I will continue to grow my outreach and impact on women who need to talk with me to gain clarity, courage, and confidence. I am excited about collaborating with people who can help me get my name and brand out there. I will have a, quote, big break and continue to connect with more people and receive more notice in the public eye and find the right clients that are perfect for me to work with, who I like working with, who have money, and who love being served by me. So that's the journal that I wrote, that's the journal entry I wrote, and I, just looking back at it, reading it, I'm just cringing, I can totally see I'm so different now. The way that I would even process my Facebook ad account getting banned would be so different, and so I just want to share 3 things that I see as mistakes in the way that I was leading my coaching business back then, and ultimately had to change my strategy around to grow to where I'm making $10,000 a month as an online coach. So the first change I had to make in how I lead my coaching business is that I don't just have one lead generation strategy anymore. The first business coach I ever hired taught me that there was one best practice, and it was Facebook ads. And granted, I did find a lot of clients that way, but I don't even use Facebook ads anymore in my business, and I've grown significantly more in the last year than I did in the first year of my business when that's all I used. And that's because I now have multiple lead generation strategies beyond just Facebook ads, because Facebook ads can ban you. It's such bullshit and it's super vague and dumb, but it truly can be terrifying if that is your one and only way to find coaching clients online is through paid Facebook ads, and they turn off your account and ban you with no hope of getting unbanned and no explanation either of why you got banned in the first place. It is so heartbreaking. I remember feeling so stuck when it first happened and scared and terrified. But then I figured out, like, okay, there's got to be other ways, right? Like, surely this isn't the one way to find clients, right? And thankfully, I did keep going. I found other strategies, and ultimately, what I think was so misguided then, yes, it was definitely that I only had one lead gen strategy. Like, the only place that I was finding clients was through paid Facebook ads, which was unnecessary, and organic growth is so important too. And genuine conversations and organic connections with people is critical. But ultimately, what I really wish I had been spending my time doing back then was learning strong content marketing and copywriting skills, because that is a skill set that translates any ad platform. So if I wanted to write ads for Facebook, sure, I could do that better. If I wanted to write ads for Pinterest or even TikTok or Google, I would be able to do that better because I had been developing strong content marketing skills and copywriting skills, not just the one ad, right? I would have been developing foundational skills, not just implementing one single strategy. And that was something that I really took away from my experience with my first business coach, and I don't do with my clients now is I don't tell you this is the only way to do anything. I'm always going to tell you these are the multiple ways you could do this thing. Here's what I know about you, so I think you might like maybe this strategy or that one. But hey, ultimately, you're the one that's going to be doing it, so you better know why it matters for you, and you better like the strategy. But my coach back then didn't do that for me. It was very much more like authoritative and directive, so I just did what she said. But ultimately, that left me not actually learning as much as I could have. And nowadays, I grow my coaching business on every platform I'm on, and I know that when I show up, people listen. And I meet new clients on every app I show up on because my marketing message is so clear. But that only came about from learning more about marketing and copywriting and things like that. So this is kind of 2-in-1. The first is have multiple lead generation strategies beyond just Facebook ads, but connected to that is develop strong content marketing and copywriting skills. Don't just rely on paid Facebook ads alone, but actually develop an organic content marketing strategy as well. And then use ads to boost posts that do really well in your audience. It's kind of like your test ground before you ever put dollars behind your ads, because ads are really a gamble. And if you're interested in learning more about ads, I have spent like $86,000 or something, very high like that on Facebook ads. So find me on social media if you want to know more about my Facebook ads experience. But since it's not something I typically recommend for new coaches, I haven't decided to prioritize that for a podcast episode. But if you are listening to this one and you're interested, just find me on socials and let me know. Okay. The second mistake I made during my first year of online coaching is other people's actions used to send me into shame spirals and stop me from doing anything. So when people would cancel their sales calls, I used to feel like shit. I used to make it mean something about me. I used to go back and rewrite emails and fret over everything I said that day on social media because that's obviously why they were canceling it. Couldn't possibly be that something personal came up in their life. And so instead, nowadays, I don't go into, I think what I wrote in the journal was like, I'm feeling pretty unsure about the future of the business because somebody canceled their sales call. I don't make it about me. I don't shame spiral. Somebody cancels their call and I'm like, all right, there's an hour back in my day. That's all it means. I still stay determined to continue growing my coaching business without having to go through the emotional draining and, I'm gonna be real with you, like pretty dramatic cycle of feeling like shit. Instead, I know how to manage my marketing strategies in a way that I love. I can sell in multiple places too. And so a sales call, I don't even expect to actually make sales on sales calls anymore. I view sales calls as opportunities to connect with people and know that they actually don't have to purchase on the call for me to get a lot out of talking to them. And if they need to cancel it, I might reach out and see if they want to reschedule, but I'm never going to make it mean that I did something wrong ever again. Because if somebody cancels their call, there is so many more reasons that it could be about than just me. So my ego is not going to get hurt by somebody needing to cancel a sales call. But it used to. That really sucked during my first year. And nowadays, if somebody cancels their call, I might get a little sad just because I wanted to talk to them. Like, I genuinely love sales calls and the way that I host them. And I have like a 60% closing rate on my sales calls. So I know that that's okay. Like, I just get that hour back and somebody else will book another call in time and I can be patient. The other thing I noticed in my journal prompt was the term big break. And I don't think that way anymore. I'm no longer waiting for a big break. And I know that business success happens one person at a time. But at first, I can't even deny it. My first business coach taught me some pretty yucky things about how to grow your online business. And it made me believe that all I needed was numbers through the door to be successful. Like the Facebook ads were all about just thousands of people seeing your ads and hundreds of people joining and watching your webinar, and then hopefully 10 people booking a call for one person to buy. The strategy just did not connect with me to a core. My values did not align with that, but I chose her directions over what felt right to me. And that left me constantly waiting for this big break moment and really just wanting massive, huge numbers when really I just loved connecting with people. I genuinely love my work. I would do it for free and have, and do it for free for my friends because I love helping women that are determined and people that have big hearts and just getting good people in connection with the people they can help. So I'm gonna do that regardless, right? But that connection with people that I was deprioritizing was really, really harmful because I was just looking for big numbers and a big break. Ultimately, this made me prioritize creating over connecting, which is so silly because the only way someone will actually want to buy from you is if they've actually genuinely connected with you. And you know what people don't connect with? Spammy, scammy, trying to go viral, copy and paste social media strategies that anyone can do. Instead, nowadays, I focus on building genuine connections and relationships, one person at a time, and that also means one like at a time. There was a day where if I didn't get multiple likes or dozens of likes on my posts, I would feel like shit and all of a sudden shame spiral and be so sad. And then if a post got a lot of likes, I'd feel like, yes, this is it. It's my big break. And then when it wouldn't come again, I'd feel like shit. And yet now I know followers don't mean sales. There are a lot of people out there with tons of followers that do not know how to sell. So I'm not waiting for huge numbers. I'm no longer waiting for a big break, for some magical thing to come along. And instead, I'm focused on slow and steady and real growth in my connections with people, which ends up making it way more fun. And honestly, my introverted self, my ADHD, and my social anxiety all really appreciate this turn of events because otherwise it was pretty darn stressful. Okay, y'all, this was kind of embarrassing to read and share about, but if at least one person hears this episode and is like, dang, you know what? I'm doing one of those mistakes right now, and considers that there might be another way to lead their coaching business, then it was worth it. So I hope this episode was helpful, and I'll be back next week with more. Thanks for listening. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Sustain Your Passion podcast. If this episode helped you gain a bit more clarity, courage, or confidence, please share it with your friends on social media or in a text. It would mean the world to me. Thanks in advance for sharing this episode. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.